Today I'm making a super easy and super delicious potato flatbread. It's so easy, you guys. There's no kneading, there's no resting, and there's only 4 ingredients. I'm gonna add a couple herbs because I had them, but it's just potatoes, flour, milk, and salt. It's really easy. So the first thing you have to do is boil your potatoes. You can also bake them, but if you boil them, make sure there's no water left in them and they're dry. Even put them in the fridge and let them cool off. These are still hot, but just don't have water left in there. Keep them dry. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is mash these guys up. So here we go. I just leave the skins on. Honestly, the healthiest part of the potato is right there on the skin. It's high in fiber, it's got all your vitamins. But you see, it's really important to have this mash a bit dry, because if you have water in here and you do this, it turns into almost like a glue. Okay, now we're gonna add milk and flour, and you just want it to come together. It's going to look like mashed potatoes, but the flour is going to make it thicker so that it's not quite like mashed potatoes. Let's put in a little milk and a little flour. It's looking pretty good, but I'm going to put a little more flour in there. And a little bit of milk. I'm using spelt flour because you guys know how much I like spelt flour. It's so healthy for you, much more nutritious than white flour. So that's my flour of choice, but use whatever flour you like. And if you want to make this gluten-free, use oat flour. That's looking pretty good. And now let's chop up some herbs. And let's add that in. These are delicious plain, but herbs make anything better and healthier. Now it's time to just put them on our parchment paper on our baking tray. I've got the oven heated to 400. We're just gonna put them on here, but first I'm gonna sprinkle with a little flour because when I press them down, I don't want them to stick too much. Now we're just gonna take a spoon. Well, first we're gonna pat these down with our hand, and we're gonna make these kind of thin. Pat down with our hand. It's easier to do with flour on. You can see then it doesn't stick. If you need them to be round, you can make them round like this, but they don't have to be perfect. So delicious, and there's no oil. You can make them gluten-free by using oat flour. They're really good. Okay, now I just make a bunch of fork holes because otherwise they blow up, and you don't want them to become like a cake. You want them to stay flat. Okay, in the oven they go, 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. Okay, so let's try one first by itself. You see it's got some nice little crust on the outside, but it's still really moist in the inside. And this is hot, so when it cools it'll be even a little bit more bread-like, but very delicious. Man, these are so good. I almost don't want to put anything on them. They're so good like this. They're like a little potato pancake. And I love putting the chives and the scallions in there. Wow. That's so good. Fantastic. These are delicious, just plain like this. Some of my favorite Soul Canyon Kitchen spicy tomato jam. That stuff is good on anything. Wow. So I'm going to just do a little one because this will be my last one. Wow, they're hot. I think they'd be a little better cooler because these are really hot. But I'm just going to take a mushroom. And just eat it with that. Yeah, this tomato jam's so good, but the mushrooms just on top and a little arugula, that's really good. That is really good. Fantastic. Wow. I love arugula. That's simple and really good. Really good. Man, that's a winner. I think my favorite is either plain or just with the mushrooms on top. It doesn't need any sauce at all. It's so good. Just mushrooms and some arugula. Oh man. All right, you guys, I hope you like this recipe and try it. It's super easy. All right, see you next time.